Streamlabs is going kind of slow for me.
I think people want you to turn off the songs.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn everything off, actually.
J give me a, but PITTEN new.
Someone needs to pour salt on me at the minute. Jesus.
Okay, so apparently, I think this is as good as it's gonna get. I went and disabled everything, but it's I don't think it's working. Actually, I don't think.
Well,
It's...
GM team knew about this. Um, and basically what you're reading on the stream is true. And Shenna and Krog were doing these things, and yet most of the staff weren't aware of it. Yeah, definitely. Quite a lot of us are quite annoyed about it. You know, I've spent myself personally, I've spent hours, as much as people know. I've spent hours in the game helping people, and you know, it's quite a bad effect for me as well. So yeah, I'm a bit annoyed about it, but at the end of the day, you guys kind of need to know what's going on. If I knew, I would have told you. If I knew, I would have probably not been part of the project. But now it's come to light, I have a better understanding of what happened. But yeah, so basically what you're reading is actually true. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so pretty much everything on lightshope.org is in a nutshell. It's pretty much accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'll alliterate again that only a certain few people knew. Shenna, Krog, White Kidney, three of them. I don't know who the other people are. They wouldn't tell me who knew. But yeah, I didn't know. A lot of it, none of the CM team knew, and none of the GM team knew. A couple of people have left. I haven't left because I just thought that I'd give you all the time to explain everything.
Right. So what can we expect as people who play on the server, people who play on Elysium, really the legacy community in general? What should the legacy community expect to happen within the next few days or weeks or however long?
Right. So what I've done is we were in a staff chat and there was a lot of drama happening and people being a bit immature, if I must say. So I basically raised my voice and said, look, we can either do this the mature way, or I just basically I banned a few people that were being a bit annoying in staff chat because I just wanted to get it sorted. Basically, in short, Krog still has a copy of everyone's character. He still has the backups. So as for the server, we can turn it on. I've asked Shenna and Krog to make a statement of why they did it, which I can explain here as well, but I'm sure you'll ask that question in a bit.
Right. So Krog has the backups, you say. Krog has the backups, but Krog is one of the guys who is, I guess, has been benefiting off of the server.
Well, no. Okay, so Shenna took money for personal reasons, but not all of it. The money was spent on hardware. I know that for a fact. There was a bit of money left over, and it was taken by Shenna for personal reasons. I'm not sure of the whole story on that, but yeah, she had some personal issues and took money from it. Now, my stance on that is, I wouldn't hate her so much because I don't want to take sides in this, and I don't agree with what they did. However, Shenna knows it was wrong, but at the same time, I kind of know that personal situations, require you to do stupid things, and she took money. And what was I going to say? Yeah, she works about 14 to 16 hours a day on the server. I don't know if she wants me to say this, but she doesn't sleep. She pretty much does everything for the server. So in essence, it's not good what she did, keeping it a secret. However, the amount of time she spends on it, I can kind of, people like that, I mean, other servers do benefit from, other servers do benefit from, their in-game stores, and they do benefit from, the money that they make off the servers, but they make it known. They have cash shops, and they can pay developers so they don't get burnt out and they actually work on the project itself. Shenna just chose the wrong option, which was, she's working 14 hours a day. She doesn't have time for anything else. And instead of telling people that she, needs money to survive, and she's got some personal issues, she decided to hide it, which is a bad thing. But if people just understand and take a step back and think about it, it's swings and roundabouts, really. I mean, it's not good.
Right. No,
but
absolutely.
yeah, I mean, she went the wrong way about it, and she's fully admitted to all of the stuff now of what went on. Krog, for example, or Krog, he was involved with controlling the market on Elysium for gold selling. Now, he was selling stuff on the servers to make money. He never took money out of the donations at all. That was all of his own. And there are reasons behind it, and a few people won't understand is, yes, it's bad. However, it did control the gold selling quite a lot. All the spam you see is nothing to do with Krog at all. It's nothing to do with Krog. But he was doing it on the down low because of the amount of time they spend. And every bit of money that Krog spent was actually on the hardware.
Right.
What I will say on that is we are, apart from this, none of the staff get paid. I certainly don't get paid. None of the staff do get paid. And we are probably one of the poorest servers out there.
Despite being the biggest.
Yeah, but despite being the biggest, we have hardly any money. We paid for the hardware, and and we had about 200 euros left. It's nothing in comparison. But yeah, it was, all the donations were spent on hardware, and it is coming. We're waiting for the contract to end on Friday to renew it. So yeah, Krog didn't take any money from donations. In short, yeah, I think it's just a mess, really.
Okay, so our characters are fine, is what you're saying. Our characters are fine.
Oh yeah, your characters are fine.
Is there going to be any sort of
slight rollback? Yeah, there'll be a rollback. There'll be a rollback, maximum of 12 hours, probably less than that, hopefully. Yeah, it will be less than that. Be
Okay.
less than that. So all the characters are safe. Krog has the backups of the system, so yeah, your characters are safe. Now, along with this announcement by Shenna and Krog, which I've asked them to do, and if they don't do it, I will leave the project. They're going to explain everything, probably more detail than I've explained.
Right. So, sorry. Continue.
No, I forgot what I was going to say. Go on.
Well, I was just going to say. So now we have. Do we have Elysium and we have Light's Hope, or is Light's Hope going to be its own thing and Elysium, the name is done? It's not Elysium anymore.
Light's Hope and Elysium are completely separate. Now, I just want to add that White Kidney writing up this statement that he knew and I didn't know, and I think White Kidney found out because he looked at all the logs on the system. Okay, which is fair enough. Now, I just want to say now that probably White Kidney's watching anyway. However, I don't dislike White Kidney for what he done. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's quite annoyed with what went on. I support White Kidney. I support Shenna and Krog because as much as what they did, I understand why they just went the wrong way about it, and I understand why White Kidney did it. But yeah, Light's Hope is completely separate from Elysium. My own view on it is purely that I think the problem with private servers at the minute is that everyone's split, everyone's against each other. We're all working for the same cause to get a good vanilla server or a good server in general that won't be shut down.
Right.
Elysium won't be shut down. People have got C&D letters. People have got phone calls. You don't need to shut down. You just ignore it. That is said. The PayPal, I'll just go on to the PayPal. Now I remember the PayPal isn't owned by Shenna as much as, people said that it was owned by Shenna. It wasn't owned by Shenna at all. It was owned by a friend. She had to ask if she wanted any money from it. So that was completely false, those rumors. Yeah, and it hasn't, and a lot of the drama that happened in February, a lot of it was overdone. It hasn't been constantly happening. Just want to get that out there because it's all out in the open now. So
right. So you're saying it was basically two instances with the same person, like on separate occasions, is essentially what you're saying.
Yeah. Now I want to say that as much as people are saying on that post that Akira was Shenna, that is true. Akira was Shenna. Purely because obviously the name is tarnished after such rumors went around, and I will add again that most of the rumors were untrue. Obviously the gold stuff wasn't untrue, but yeah, a lot of the rumors were untrue. However, Shenna still spent 14 to 16 hours a day sorting out the server, so she needed a character that was able to be in staff chat and in the public Discord, so she could keep an eye on things when servers were down. Right. That wasn't malicious at all. As for the all right thing, I don't know about that. I don't even know if that's true, to be honest.
Right. So you mentioned new hardware. You mentioned donations for the new hardware. You mentioned all this stuff. So you said the contract is up on Friday. So
yeah, the contract's up on Friday. So basically, like I said, the money for the donations are going towards hardware. It's not as if Shenna, well, at the minute it's Krog that bought it. The 285, the MG 285 was bought with the donations, 100%. We're waiting for the contract to expire on Friday.
So we can expect the server lag to get better, basically, once the servers come back up, or
yeah, a bit better. I'll go in a bit more detail about that. Basically, at the moment, the lag on the servers is caused by memory leaks. The code is shocking. The code we received from the Stalius, as much as people say it didn't crash and all that sort of stuff, was because it wasn't perfect. Basically, the code that was, or the core that was received off Nostralis. We suffer from memory leaks. you know, the memory gets high and the server crashes, and then we have to purge memory so the server can come back up again. The new hardware will help with that. So it will crash less, and it will lag less as well. It doesn't fully solve the situation because we need a development team that can sort out these problems at the core. That's where the money situation comes in, because other private servers can pay developers to work on these things, and they get paid, so they actually do the job. Now, because we're volunteers and we have people like Staden, Parker, GemT, or all that, you know who you are if you're watching anyway. They're all very good developers, but people get burnt out. There's no motivation for them. They work on it and they work really hard on it, but they're volunteers and they don't get paid.
Right. So in addition to their actual jobs and them having to basically support themselves, they're doing this for free. They're doing it as volunteer work. And
it doesn't excuse why money, but the money didn't go towards them. But what I'm saying is you know, even Shenna taking money, you know, if we're struggling that much to get things fixed because we're solely a volunteer project, then the best way to go about it for me would be to, if it was me in that situation, I'd have made a post saying, look, we can keep the server running, but if we want things done faster, then we need to pay professional, we have professional developers, but we need to pay a developer to work on a specific thing. To open up a shop for transfers, name changes, whatever, pets, things like that would have been a better option to say, we're going to use this money to pay a developer to work on these issues. And then the server lag will completely stop. They just chose not to.
Right. So Fuzi just came in here. Thanks for the sponsor, man. Appreciate that. He says Lights Hope WoW on Twitter is the official source for updated info about Lights Hope. And Ash mentioned this earlier too. For anybody who joined in afterwards, Ash is not speaking for. It's simply Q&A, but he's not 100% speaking on behalf of the whole team or anything. For us in our endeavor to move away from the Elysium Project brand, that's something that Fuzi wanted to get out there. I'm going to go ahead and hit Lights Hope WoW with a follow real quick. The 20th follower. How about that? So you guys might want to go follow them on Twitter. Follow that Twitter account. The hopes and dreams of those nostalgic for the past, looking forward to a bright future. How about that? Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I don't speak for Lights Hope. And as Fuzi should know, I spoke to White Kidney and we're absolutely fine. So there's no bad blood, so to speak. The only reason why I'm speaking here is because the community deserve to know the truth. That's the only reason why I'm doing this, and I am not defending what has happened.
So Zethra is asking, appreciate the sponsorship, man. He's asking, concerning the duplicated characters rank 14, why did the community managers constantly censor the post on Reddit and in Discord instead of addressing player concerns? So Zethra is asking if there was some sort of, and that's not to say, and this is just from my perspective, just because something's posted on Reddit, not all the community managers would see it before it gets deleted. But
okay, so basically what would happen was, obviously Krog's running with these rank 14s. That's something that he's selling, for example. Now you say community managers side with deleting the posts and that. Well, we deleted them because we honestly thought they were just troll posts. Now you've got people saying, these rank 14s are being sold, and even the GMs can't tell what's happening. The only people that can tell what is happening are people with server access. Now those are system admins and people that, like I just said, had system access. So that was Shenna and Krog. Now Krog was doing those sort of things. So if we ask the question, are these being sold? The answer we're told is, no, we're not. So then we would hide the post. That doesn't mean we're in on it. We get told by the sysadmins or Shenna or anyone that has system access, no, they're not being sold. So we communicate to you, no, they're not. Right. Then the drama keeps happening, so we hide the post. Now that's what we're supposed to do. Doesn't mean that the community managers are in on it. We're just getting told false information.
You're basically just the middleman in that situation. It's
pretty much.
Don't shoot the messenger sort of deal. Okay, that was good. Let's see. Um, yeah, and that's Zethro's following up with that, basically saying why were they censored quickly and constantly? Just because it looks like the community managers were just misinformed. They were being not told the truth, unfortunately. But as the messengers in the situation, they were basically, hey, that's not happening. Okay, well, you have to take it for what it's worth. That's what you're.
Well, what I'll put it bluntly. With what happened in February, with all these things going on, I didn't know that was true or not. We got told it wasn't, and it did stop, and it wasn't happening, and I wasn't aware of anything. However, when you come to it, and I go onto a Reddit post, for example, and I see people bringing up past drama, saying Alex Central said this, blah blah blah, whether or not he was right or wrong, which obviously this has come out, but I'd look at the thread and I would think, oh, these idiots are at it again. Now, unfortunately, I'm not trying to insult you or anyone because we didn't know either. So all we saw was people trying to cause drama. So we would just lock it. That is purely why it was locked quickly, is because we couldn't be bothered with the drama. I have to respond to 100 whispers plus every couple of hours. I constantly get spammed. I constantly, I have never spoken to anyone about it, but constant death threats when the server goes down, God knows why. I've had people try and dox me, try and get real life information, and I've done nothing wrong at all. So when I came to these posts, I was just like, troll, delete. That's pretty much it.
Right, right. So David was asking, and Ash already answered this, but I do, we have a few people who've entered the chat or have entered the stream since then. So maybe you want to clarify.
Can I answer one question quickly from Olas?
Yeah. Sure.
Right, you cannot make the donation goal public because not only do people dodge C&D letters, if you make donations public, it becomes a legal obligation to start accounting for that money. If you can't prove where the money came from, you start getting all sorts of people involved, which gives people a chance to shut us down. The only reason I've suggested the PayPal, but if you look into it legally, it is not viable to show any donation goals, how much we've got, what it's going on, and what we're aiming for. However, we were blunt in fact, I lie about that. We were showing what we were going to pay for, which was the hardware, but we can't show you a balance. We just can't, because that's on public image, and then you start getting people involved.
Right. So what David was asking, he was saying, Ash, why don't you side with Light's Hope? The community is likely to not go back to Elysium anymore, given the shadiness. So I know you said you weren't necessarily. If you just want to clarify your stance on that, just so people understand.
Everyone that knows me well, apart from me, and I will say, because someone from the guild will be in this chat, when I as much as I'm on the side of the community and I do make my mistakes, like getting drunk and making someone big in game, and they decided to get teleported to GM Island for hacking, and that was my fault, and I delayed a raid. That was a mistake, but I do like having fun with you guys. Now, that is exactly what I do. Like, I've noticed a lot of community managers that don't go to places and they interact with streams. Like, I constantly interact with SFAN here. I constantly go on to speak to Ryan's stream. I go on to other people's stream and watch. I go into raids and watch people. I don't say anything in game because I get reports against me, which I don't understand these days. But, I do engage with the community a lot, a hell of a lot. Now, so my side on it is I will follow the community. Right. Depending on what was going. Now, there's two options, and what I will say now, there's two options, and I'll be blunt. Shenna and Krog, they fucked up. They massively fucked up, and a lot of us are really, really annoyed with them. Now, they're going to make a public apology and explain why they did it. Now, if that happens again, I will no longer be part of the project, if they're not open with it. Now, there's two sides. Elysium comes back online, and if they need money to fix things, or they need money for new hardware, and they are struggling because we're competing with other servers that actually openly have a shop, then we are forced to try and open a shop ourselves. We do not want to be pay to win. We don't want to charge people anything.
Right, absolutely.
But unfortunately, in this day and age, everything's about money. Now, it's very hard to run a server like Elysium without money. Now, donations do come in, and they do come in, but it's not near as enough as what, servers like Warmain have, where they are blatantly making a hell of a lot of money, and everyone on the staff are getting paid, and we're not, and it's a massive struggle, and it really is.
Right. So, Jersey was asking, what happens to people with two-factor authorization?
They can easily be removed, to be quite honest. As much as people do wait for the 2FA, it's because behind the scenes it's with volunteers, and I know I bring up volunteers and everyone going, oh, this is the volunteer excuse, but it's not. I mean, every ban appeal, every 2FA removal has to be checked that someone's not trying to hack someone again, or a friend is trying to get someone into someone's account, which does happen. Especially ban appeals. Ban appeals are even worse. They're a nightmare. We have to check everything.
Right.
It's a long process, but it does get done by volunteers at different times. So yeah,
right.
It's just a nightmare.
So Liam was asking. He says he tried to help with development and he never got a message back. And there's only so much he feels like he can contribute through GitHub. Is there any way for people to contribute to the development team? Like how can people get involved?
Development team is quite easy, actually. If you're a good developer, you go onto the GitHub. If you pull a GitHub request and you fix the issue with coding or whatever, programming, whatever you want to do. Hold on. Yeah, if you want to fix the if you fix things basically, and it gets approved, and it constantly gets approved, you start getting a reputation of this guy. For example, Parker, the one that does the development, the uploads for the main site. He was just fixing things constantly. Like, it was unbelievable how fast he was, and that's how you get on the team. So then we'll approach you and say, you're doing a really good job. Do you want to join the development team? It's a complete open source project, so anyone can fix things if they want to or if they can. The way you get onto the team, it just does it. And I don't know why Jakira's saying this. Me and Jakira have spoken loads, but I don't mind speaking to her.
But let's see what else we got. So Al was asking a real simple question: when can we expect servers to be back online? When can we expect to play vanilla WoW again?
A good question. I can ask now.
Okay, well, we can come back to that one. Olas was asking. Oh man, there's a lot of messages. We gotta start moving a little bit quicker. Man, a lot of questions. Okay, we're gonna get moving a little bit quicker here, so we can get through sponsor chat and maybe open it up to the non-sponsors. I just wanted to give the sponsors, people who had been here, people who had been involved in the channel, their opportunity to ask any questions that they might have first. And again, a lot of new sponsors. Wasn't expecting that actually, so thank you guys. But Olas was asking about changing the name from Elysium to Light's Hope. Do you think it's going to damage Elysium's popularity or anything because people already know about Elysium, or do you think it's going to help maybe because Elysium is Elysium is corrupt, sort of meme, I guess, that's gone around over however many months.
Will it damage population? Yeah, of course it will. I mean, like they said, you lied to once, it happened before, and then lied to again. People are a bit annoyed, and they're going to be annoyed. And I fully support that decision. It's one of those things. No one likes being lied to. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to damage it. But the only thing that Elysium can offer at the minute is they make their apologies. They make a statement about why, everything. They explain absolutely everything. If they don't, people will just leave. It will be the end of the project. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be a mess. But then at the same time, I don't believe in splitting two communities up again.
Right.
Like, you know, people go to Lights Hope, people will stay on Elysium. Splitting people up completely destroys having, you know, one vanilla server, which is completely, you know,
Yeah, it just totally
united
ruins the
as
whole
one.
thing.
And to be honest, I know it's hard to give other people chances, and I mean, I'm on no one's side here, but you know, I you know, it depends on what, you know, if everyone transferred to Lights Hope, I'd be okay, fair enough. If everyone stayed
Right.
on Elysium, I'd be like exactly the same, fair enough.
Right.
But having a split community for me, no, I don't know. To be honest, I'd probably stop being a community manager.
Right. So,
And
so
on
as
to
of right now, is it expected that the Elysium is going to continue and then Lights Hope is going to be its own thing?
yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to say stay with Elysium. I'm waiting personally myself to see what Shenna and Krog have to say. Now, as soon as that happened, as you know, Esfand, I rang Shenna
Right.
on their phones, and I rang Krog on his phone and said, "What the hell's going on?"
Right.
You know, and I'm going to wait for their announcement. And I'm going to personally read it because I don't know everything either. I don't know the full story. I know why they did it, but you know, they might have some more information. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they come up with something, and then they openly say, and then if they are struggling with money, that a shop opens. You know, I'd probably be like, okay, fair enough. You're one step in the right direction. You're actually doing the right way of saying we actually need money.
Right.
Just going to go on to Jakira's comment. She's going on about me saying about hold on, going on about staff IPs. Yes, I have access to the server on the forums, and yes, I can see IPs. Now, if people like Jakira, who is a GM or was a GM of Elysium, say that I was releasing IPs, no, I wasn't. I can release the screenshot of me telling you, please change your IP or get a VPN because it is more secure. Now, it's entirely up to Jakira if she wants to keep on spreading rumors like that, but I have the entire chat log of me telling you, please get a VPN because you'll be safer with one. This is your IP at the minute. I know whereabouts you're from. Please get a VPN. Now, I didn't just say that to you. I said that to quite a few staff that didn't use VPNs. Now, that was me trying to protect you, as I have a phone call trying to stop me from doing all the community manager stuff on Elysium.
Right.
Why would I read off IPs? I didn't read off IPs to you or anyone while people were in the chat. I read off the IP to you personally in your private messages and then deleted the messages afterwards. But I'll move on to the next question because me and Jakira always spoke and we were in chat and we got along very well. Now this has happened. She's decided, yes, of course I pulled your IPs. I pulled your IP address because you didn't have a VPN. And as Elysium staff, I'm trying to protect you from not getting doxxed and from your location being shown. But obviously, doing you a favor is not a good thing.
Right. So,
anyway, on to the next question.
Yeah. Is there any plans for I guess improved communication to the community going forward? Like any or as I mean that's probably something that hasn't even really been thought of yet. I mean, there's so much going on right now that's probably on the back burner. But I don't know. That's have you guys thought of anything yet?
Yeah, well, going forward, I mean, like I said, two options. Two options really is you either accept Krog and Shenna's apology or you don't. There's Elysium or there's Lights Hope. I hope that people stay with Elysium because as much as it's a bit of bullshit of what happened, and it was a bit secretive. A lot of people work very hard on it, but then you have got some good people that went to Lights Hope as well.
Right.
Not gonna lie, because I don't have any grudges against any of the team that went to Lights Hope or the team that went to Elysium. The majority stayed at Elysium. You got people like White Kidney that are absolutely brilliant, and they spend ages on the server and looking after it. But then, as much as you say that, Krog and Shenna spend, if not more, time
Right.
on it, but they just needed funds, basically.
Right. So you were saying before that Krog has a backup of all the characters of the server, and then White Kidneys also has a backup. Is that right? Or
Yeah. Krog has a backup.
okay.
Yeah.
So there's two backups basically. Nara was asking, characters and accounts are safe, but Kroggy has the backup. Krog has the backup. But so there's two backups right now that are out there. Is essentially it. So Krog doesn't have the only backup. Okay.
Yeah, Krog and White Kidney have backups. So basically, there's two copies of Elysium, which again I don't agree with, because it's the whole thing about splitting the community.
Yeah.
We need to. I mean, it is crap what happened, and it is bullshit, and I get it. I'm annoyed about it, and I get a lot of the staff are annoyed about it. But splitting a community is unbelievable. Now, all Shenna and Krog need to do is be honest now. The donations did go towards something. Krog didn't touch the donations. He was just selling things because, it's real life. You can't just sit there and spend 16 hours a day on a game that everyone plays and have a job at the same time. So, yeah, you can imagine. That's why other servers do it. Other servers do it as well. They can't afford to live with how much time they spend, so they open up a shop. And then brings back to the thing of keeping it a secret was probably the worst thing they could do.
Right. So let's see what else we got here. So why not make a store shop like Warman? I know he said earlier that you don't want the server to be pay to win necessarily, but why not add a shop to where you can do name changes or I don't know, race changes, stuff like that, as opposed
I think that's probably what is going to have to happen. I mean, depending on what happens, yeah, probably have to do that. I mean, even the copies of Elysium that other people have got, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the core. So the server, for example, and I'm not bringing Lights Hope down here at all in the slightest. They've got the exact same copy. It means they're still going to suffer from what we suffer with, or have been suffering with. It needs to be fixed. Now, if we open up a store, which means we can get some donation money or some money from purchases, which means we can pay for a developer, which can get all the problems fixed, then that's probably a way that everything would get sorted quite fast. So yeah, I personally, I would, in their situation, is come out with this post explaining why, and then fairly and openly come up with a way to get those donations to keep the server pristine, but not ask. Personally, I would say, because no one wants to really profit off it, is to, once you've reached a certain donation goal, that we completely stop donations. So,
right.
Say if it's 2,000, we get up to 2,000, and then no one can donate again.
Right.
Instead of hoarding money like other servers do. Because that's a bad way. Which team will Shenna and Krog be on? Elysium. They won't go to Lights Hope because Lights Hope are basically the team that left because they didn't like being lied to. What's to stop Shenna and Krog from doing this again? Nothing. However, if they do it again, I will no longer be part of the team. Because you can fool people once and twice, but this time they're actually going public with it.
Yeah.
By the time you hit third, I don't think they will, because I could hear Shenna, and she sounded upset. She was really disappointed with herself, and they opened up about it.
Right.
Now, like I just said, it was a bad decision by them, a massive, stupid decision to keep it a secret, when all they needed to do was really open up a shop and get money that way, so they could actually get things rolling.
Right. So, if people were banned for saying that GMs were selling golden items, and since it turned out being true, can they get unbanned now? Like, what are the process that they can? What's the process that they can go through to get unbanned?
Well, that's something we'd have to suggest, to be honest,
Yeah,
and try and
that's something
maybe
next level. Yeah.
maybe purge people that were, you know, gold selling, not the not the mules or sites like Nost 100 or whatever the bloody hell it is, but people that bought it maybe.
Right. So Manlet was asking, uh, if you were a current player with no ties to the staff, which server would you pick? One oh I guess that's just a random question or a random statement, but one that spawned rank 14s to sell them, censored to sell, then censored our concerns, or one that's trying to break away from the shadiness, is what Manlet was saying.
Well, I get the point of breaking away from the shadiness, and I really do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with what I know, I would stay with personally. I would stay with Elysium, purely because I know how much time people spend on it, and they've like poured their heart and soul into it. So
Right.
yeah, I including myself, to be honest.
Right. So Dan Canton was saying, just for clarification, everybody's gonna have their character on two servers now, right? Elysium PvP and Lights Hope,
Yeah, yeah.
and
By the looks of it, anyway.
they can just use their same name and password to log in to both servers.
Don't know that yet.
Okay.
I don't have any idea about Lights Hope login or anything like that.
Right. Right. Let me see. There's a lot of extraneous chat going on right now. I want to.
A lot of people in Discord, blah blah blah. Nerf farming, no, nerf farming spots was purely because of the actual gold sellers. I say the actual gold sellers, the Chinese farmers.
Right.
There we go. I said it.
PR on Discord.
China.
PR on Discord was saying that he's willing to fund, I guess, the entire project if it's willing to get everything rolling correctly, is what Ola says. So whoever PR is on Discord, possibly you should probably reach out to Ash and talk to Ash about that. Ash, if you have anything to say about that.
What did he say? Sorry.
He says he's willing to fund the entire thing for Vanilla, be able to like donate or whatever he needs to do, I guess. PR on Discord, whoever that is, said he I don't know, I guess he said he was willing to do that. So PR, you might want to reach out to Ash on Discord.
Yeah, do that.
Let me try and get through these questions. Who's going to be leading Lights Hope, and who's going to be leading Elysium?
Who's going to be leading Elysium?
Like the lead dev, excuse me, for Elysium and Lights Hope.
Lights Hope don't know. White Kidney is main server admin, so he'll deal with that. That's the problem. We've still got a lot of developers at Elysium now. Just a few have left for Lights Hope, but I'm sure they can recruit more. But at the minute, there's still a big team. In fact, I can show you now if you open up your Discord. Obviously, don't show it, but you can see how many staff we've still got. And there you go. Developers are purple.
Let's see.
So, yeah.
Okay. So this is what Ash just sent me. Let's load up this picture. So this is the current Elysium staff, or you got Britannia, Cool Modi, Darbon, Dark Rasp, Guybrush, Shenna, devs for Elysium right now. Is that right?
Yeah.
So And none of these people will be going over to Lights Hope.
Shouldn't be, no.
So with Lights Hope, basically Lights Hope, you have a backup of the server, but you don't really have any devs yet. I'm saying you, but I mean I'm talking about the server. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, all that stuff should stay.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. There's not many that's left for Lights Hope, and I'm not bringing them down. But Elysium isn't going to run. Elysium isn't going to run, or Lights Hope isn't going to run without a lot of people, especially with the lag and the server issues. So, in my personal view, and you know, White Kidney knows I like him. You know, yeah, White Kidney, as much as I like him, and he did it for very good reasons, it's not going to solve the issues splitting the community, especially if you get more than 4,000 people on the server. It is still going to crash,
Right.
and they're still going to need donations.
So now you've basically got the resource, not just the community, but the resources and everything else that's being poured into this one server right now being split up into two separate servers. So, I mean, you could end up having two servers that are not as good as they could be. Is essentially what could potentially happen.
It's not gonna fit. It's not gonna fix itself. I mean, you're gonna need a lot of developers to fix what's wrong with the threading issues that cause the lag. A lot of devs.
Right.
No, we have a lot of devs, but at the same time, we still got to fix other things.
Right.
We've still got to fix the other issues.
This is a pretty funny question. Is this why they nerfed farming spots so that people would buy more gold? Guy.
I actually answered that one, but I'll say it again. No.
Yeah.
It was to stop the actual Chinese farmers, and yes, I said Chinese farmers. I went ahead and said it, but it was to stop the actual farmers, because there was a lot of people in there making money and then selling it and hacking people's accounts and being mules for them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try opening the chat up to non-sponsors now, and let's see how far this goes before I might have to turn it off just to be able to read questions. But Pitten knew. I still don't know what that means, but there you go, Olas.
I'd just like to say the people spamming that I'm lying, hopefully they're joking, because clearly I had no idea what was going on earlier. Like I said, I had to ring Shanna and Krog to ask what was going on, and I'm sure people will back me up and say I had no idea. I mean, to be honest, I'm a bit upset being lied to, and the only reason why I'm in the stream is purely because you guys need to know. Now, I don't have to be sat here speaking at 10 to 1 in the morning when I've got work at 6 a.m. I'm purely doing it so you know. That is it.
Yeah.
So people can be mad. People can still send death threats. I had nothing to do with it. I'll never have anything to do with that. I wish I was getting paid for it. I have a very well-paid job, which I have to be up to at in 5 hours. Yeah, I'm speaking to you guys,
right?
And it's purely just so you all know the score.
Right. So security asked a really good question. What is to stop people from selling their accounts in the server they don't play on if everything is just duplicated? Because it really, at the end of the day, just fuels account selling more. Because if somebody just wants to start playing WoW right away, what's to stop, for example, what's to stop SFAN from being like, hey, geared Ret Paladin, want to sell my account on Lights Hope or on Elysium for somebody else to play on because they don't want to level up and they want to get all that gear.
To be honest, practice what you preach. I honestly think now that they have Krog, who actually did it, something's going to be done to say selling their account. Are we going to have to allow it? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not speaking purely for Elysium here. I'm just saying that if Krog was selling characters and people sell their characters, should they get banned for it? Probably not now. Not after this. No, they shouldn't be banned, because then it completely contradicts what they said.
Right.
I like that comment. Ash is on the scam with Krog and Shanna.
um,
Yes.
there's
Yes.
another
I
good
love
one
it.
in here. Let me see if I can find it again. Let me see if I can find it again. There's another really good one in here. Um,
You say how much faith do I have in Shanna and Krog? I don't. I have faith in that they'll do the right thing this time. I am pretty pissed off that they lied, especially to me, because there's only a few, as you can see in that pitch in the picture in the text in on SFan stream now, with my name on it. There's only 8 leads of the project, and I'm one of them. And now you would think if I was in on anything, I would know, but I know as much as I'll say it, people still won't believe me. But I honestly did not have an absolute clue. Now, that's how high it was. Oh, well, that's how much it was guarded, the secret, because I didn't know. I had no idea. And there's only 6 of us, and one of them's from Crestfall. So you can say 5 of us, and I didn't have a clue.
right. So this is from my perspective here. It seems like Light's Hope doesn't really have. I mean, you've got the server, you've got a copy of Elysium, which is going to be called Light's Hope, but there's nothing to fuel it really, as far as like a dev team or anything goes. That's not to say that they can't put one together, but wouldn't it be easier to just keep the whole thing rolling together as one big community if Krog and Shenna were removed from the team or were to step down?
Yeah, pretty much. That's an option, but I don't think they will. Purely, like I said before, because of the amount of time Shenna spends on it. Now, I don't know if you know this, and apologies, Shenna, but you know she's had people go to her house before, you know, and threaten her, and she, like I said, spends 16 hours a day. So yeah, she has a lot of passion for the project, and as much as you can hate Shenna for what was happened or what did happen, she's been through a lot of shit for the actual server itself, and she spends
Right.
a lot of time on it. So as much as people say we hate Shenna, blah blah blah, I will never say that she didn't work for the project or she wasn't focused on it, because it's all she ever did.
Right.
And
I
that's
mean,
the only reason why I would say, if you're honest about it, then maybe I'll stay as lead community manager.
right. And not to turn this into like a Shenna bash fest or anything, but like I just think that if something is so important to somebody, then they should not be doing things that could potentially ruin it for them and for a lot of other people. Um, I don't know. And I mean, of course, like you said, like she was Shenna before, and then she became Akira and kind of was working undercover because of all the backlash from Shenna even existing. But as part of the dev team or whatever. But I don't know. I think I think this whole deal kind of sucks, and I do think the best thing for the community would be if she were to step down or were to move out or something. Unfortunately, for her, unfortunately, but I don't know. I don't know. So Lights Hope. Let me recap this because I keep seeing the same questions over and over again. There's no specific, and correct me if I'm wrong. There's no specific time frame for the servers coming back up. Is that right?
I've just asked Krog now. He's what did he say? He's checking it now.
Okay, so they're looking at, or Ash is looking to see how long it might take for the servers to come back up.
People are asking, is the new hardware on Lights Hope? I don't know. The new hardware was bought for Elysium, so they're going to have to pay for it separately.
Okay, so I guess Lights Hope says on Twitter that they're going to be up in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
Then the other thing is, the other question they kept asking, I totally just brain fart, totally went blank. Oh, Lights Hope is Lights Hope going to be a fresh server? No, it's not. Lights Hope is not going to be a fresh server. It's going to be a copy of Elysium in its current state. Like right now, October 16th, 2017. That's, as far as I know, that's when the backup. It's a backup from today that Lights Hope is starting on. So again, from what it sounds like is you've got these two servers which are the exact same server. You've got Lights Hope and Elysium, the exact same server, but with different dev teams. Whenever they get back up and rolling. As far as the new hardware goes, is it going to be on Lights Hope or is it going to be on Elysium? I think that's a big deal. I do think that's a big deal because a lot of people have been waiting around for to see where the new hardware goes.
New hardware is definitely on Elysium.
So new hardware is going to be on Elysium. So and this is the issue now. So you've got Elysium where for a lot of people, Krog and Shenna have kind of tarnished Elysium's name, and then you have Lights Hope, which doesn't have as experienced of a dev team, as experienced of leadership, but they're kind of like the I don't know, they're kind of like the they're trying to fight the man here, which is cool, which is awesome. I mean, that's how it looks like it's rolling. But I don't know. This whole thing has just been kind of insane. Like you said, you have to be up in about 5 hours to go to work. I was fixing my computer, trying to get my computer's been broken the whole week. I was trying to get my computer fixed, and then turns out the server gets shut down immediately.
Yeah. Well, people are saying about transparency, yeah. As you know, I spend a lot of time with the community. If I knew half of this information, I would have told you. If we knew most of the information, you'd have been told. Everything that I know, I make sure that it comes out. Things like patches, we didn't know what time it was going to be up because we were having some problems with the server. Now, if I had to announce everything that was going on, I'd literally have no time to do anything. So yeah, some things are kept quiet purely because people don't have time to say everything.
Right. And
but yeah, no.
Yeah, it looks like going forward, I mean, the transparency and the communication between the staff and the community and everything is going to improve. It does need to improve. So Slade was asking when Elysium's going to be back up, and Ash is Krog is actually figuring that out, and he's going to tell Ash. I don't know, and it would be interesting. It would be interesting to hear from some of the Lights Hope people as well, White Kidneys or something. If we can, if I can get a chance to talk to him or something, that would be pretty cool. But let me see. Sorry about that. I had to fix something on my computer. So, yeah. See, Olaf, that's what I was talking about. I think I'm gonna put it back into sponsor only mode for a second, so I can read some questions. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to read refreshing.